This is author Age Scott, with an excerpt from my coming-of-age novel, The Lost Winter of Lyla Strauss. Excerpt. Colton's eyes slowly opened as a blazing flash of sunlight filled the cabin, and he got a first glimpse of life back among the living. Beneath a cocooning layer of varied blankets, cloths, and fur swathes, this wounded man's arms slowly pushed them to one side of the bed, as his eyes grasped for some sight which was familiar to him. Focusing first upon his beard, which had become overgrown, Colton's eyes slowly began to blink and take in a pleasant view. Across the room from where he was, a nude female of slight form sat on the edge of another bed, brushing long brown hair with her back situated to him. In an awakened presence of the angel, who he had thought was sent to watch over him, Colton Hollister thought this young waif of only 13 or 14 years of age had been the daughter of the trappers who'd recovered him from the base of that ravine. Focusing his eyes upon this nude female, he realized she was more mature than being of teen years. She was not a girl, but a woman of tender presence. Probably not the daughter of the trapper, but a young bride of a mountain man, was the thought which filled Hollister's mind about this beauty. Colton's labored grunt filled the air, as each footstep brought him closer to where she sat upon the bed. Using a branch located near his bed as a crutch to stabilize his balance, he moved slowly. Hearing him stir behind her, this young woman wrapped a white cotton garment around herself in front of the stranger. "You certainly know how to scare a person, mister," she spoke in an anxious smile, not wanting to frighten this young woman as he approached. Colton spoke in a low tone. "Where am I?" Buttoning the billowy white garment closed completely, she replied to him, "You are at the Ruelaix cabin at the trading post outside of Callaway." Having had only a trace of memory of what happened at Banyan Pass and confusion over this present moment, this bearded man breathlessly became rapidly filled with questions for her. "How did I get here?" Some sense of explanation was wanted from the woman standing in front of him. "What happened?" Insistence of anxiety overtook him as he looked around the cabin. "Does your family own this place?" She revealed to him who owned this cabin and the trading post where he gathered bearings of revival. "This land belongs to Dancy Ruelaix." About to say something, he sighed. "Whoa, I feel so lightheaded." Soft hands clasped his hand as she tried to steady him. "Please, come and rest yourself, mister." Seeing how weak this man still was, she helped him sit down on the bed's edge. Simple conversation between them continued until she heard the sound of the approaching owner of the cabin directly outside. Lightness filled her voice as she stood up and spoke. "I think I hear Dancy coming this way right now." Taking a few steps towards the cabin door, she smiled back at the man sitting on that bed. Even as he drifted in and out of consciousness over those many days and nights, Colton Hollister caught faint flickers of a woman and man speaking to one another. Having already met the female half of this duo, Hollister was more than eager to show his gratitude to the aforementioned owner of this unlikely haven of recuperation. Cabin door slowly opened as a cold breeze and Ruelaix entered that warm space. Young woman of soft voice and skin greeted this older man. "Thank God you're back, Dancy," hugging him gently. "He is finally awake." Nodding in Colton's direction, both of them slowly began to walk towards the bed. Dragging a sack of wood and other goods behind him, a man at his mid-year of 55 was over 6 foot tall with a build and dark brown beard, placed this large package by the cabin door. He took 4 cut pieces of lumber out of that sack and held them in his arms. Older man of 55 and a young beauty of 20 may have not been an unusual sight for anyone to view, yet this pair was an oddity. Colton Hollister was speechless in the presence of Dancy Ruelaix, as he did not know what to say to him. Younger man's reaction to him was more than enough in words not spoken, for Dancy Ruelaix lived with this reaction all of his life. Dancy Ruelaix was a Negro. As he walked further towards the fireplace with a fresh supply of wood in his arms, a somber cloud of observation wafted from the area where the injured man stood. Lyla was in the same cabin as these 2 men, but didn't comprehend that weight of this moment. She was blind to what was right in front of her eyes, while this Negro was not. He knew that look. Dancy Ruelaix had seen the look in a white man's eyes more times than he could ever forget. Being a male of height and obvious presence, Dancy Ruelaix knew the feeling of seeming as tiny as the wisp of an eyelash in the denigrating eyes of a white man. Without a word being said, that look of inhumanity, hatred, judgment, belittlement, and bypass settled onto the being of Dancy Ruelaix. Rolling the pieces of lumber and twigs into a medium-sized pile to the right side of the fireplace, he waited for the stranger in his home to speak first.